Good day, students. I hope everybody is doing well. Great. Today, our strands still remain number. Our substrands still remain counting, representation, and cardinality. But under the substrands of counting, representation, and cardinality, what we are going to discuss this morning is how to write number names or numerals in words and vice versa. Good. Before you can write numbers in names or number names or numbers in words or the other side, then let's look at the terms that will be familiar with our proceedings. Now we have the place value digits. The term that will be used throughout our discussion will be the place value digits, the face value digits, and the real value digits. Let's take them one after the other. When we talk about the place value digits, the place value digit is the position or a place where the number is occupied or placed, where the number has been put or it has been placed, or the position where a digit is occupied. That is what we call the place value digits. The position or place of numbers start with ones positions, the 10th place, the hundreds positions or the hundreds place, the thousands place, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, ones of million or millions place, tens of million, hundreds of million, thousands of million. That is where we got our billion. Okay, so from the hundreds of million you move on to what? Billion. That one we call it ones of billion. Then we have the tens of billion, and then the hundreds of billion. From the billion, then you move on to the trillion. Okay, that one is not your level. So when you talk about the place value, is where the number has been put or where the number is occupied. Okay, good. Now let's talk about the face value digits. When you talk about the face value digit here, the face value digit is a number itself or the number that you see with your naked eye or your physical eye. The actual number that you use your eyes to see, that one we call it the face value digit. Example, the face value digit of 6 in 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 7 is the 6. Okay, the face value of 7 in 5, 6, 3, 7, 1 is 7. So when you talk about the face value is the number itself. So when you talk about the face value of 6, you mean the number in the 6. Okay, so those number that's stated over there, the 6 is a 6, the 7 is 7, 8 is 8, 9 is 9. So it's the number that we mentioned, the number itself, unless you can't see any number. So the number that you can see on the board or on the screen or anywhere, that one we call it the face of it. Okay, that is the face value, the number itself. Okay, or is the number itself, the number 7, the face value of 7 is the number 7 itself. Okay, don't think about anything else. Now let's see the real value here. When you talk about the real value, is where the mathematics comes in. Is it the actual value of the number, and it is obtained by multiplying the face value digits and the place value digits. Example, the real value of 5 in 6574 is obtained by multiplying the face value they get, which is the 5, and its place value of the 5, okay? That is the position where the 5 or the number is being placed, and that is the hundredths position. So you can see clearly that if you want the real value for the 5, the 5 here, the face value is the 5 itself, but the place value is where these 5s are being placed. This 5 has been placed in the hundredths position. Therefore, the 5 will be used to multiply the position where this 5 has been placed. So the 5 times 100, that will give you the 500. Therefore, the 500 is what? The real value here. If you want to find the real value for the 6, the face value times the what? The place value, that will give you the real value. So the face value for the 6 is the 6 itself, but the place value for the 6, where the 6 are being placed, the 6 has been placed in the thousands positions, and therefore the 6 times 1000 will give you 6000. That will be the real value. We said the real value is the actual value of the number, and it's obtained, we can ascertain by multiplying the face value they get and then the place where the number occupied. Good. Now, let's talk about how to write numbers in words. First, writing number in words, or when you have the numerals and they ask you to write them in words or write numbers in to a number name or give the number names to certain numbers. You have certain precedent that you need to follow or procedure that guides you, okay? Firstly, group the given numbers, that is others, thousands, million, and billion. You group the numbers. From your right side, you have the others, thousand, million, billion, etc. You can continue from there. Secondly, each group contains a maximum of 3 names. Each group, so when you take the others contain 3 names. Then you have the ones of others, tens of others, and hundreds of others. When you take the thousands, we have the ones of thousand, tens of thousand, and hundreds of thousand. When you take the million, we have the ones of million, tens of million, and hundreds of million. When you group the billions, we have the ones of billion, tens of billion, and hundreds of billion. Let's see examples of others, ones of others. When we talk about ones of others, because they don't have any other common name, that is why we call them others. So when you say ones of others, we mean any number from 1 to 9. You call it ones of others. When we say tens of others, any number from 10 to 90 are called tens of others. Hundreds of others, any number from 100 to 900 are called others, hundreds of others. When you move on to the thousand, ones of thousand, examples of ones of thousand, we have the 1000, 2000, up to 9000. The tens of thousand, you also have 10,000 up to 90,000. The hundreds of thousand, we have 100,000 up to 900,000. When you move on to the million, we have the ones of million. When you talk about the ones of million, we are referring to the 1 million up to 9 million. The tens of million, the 10 million up to 90 million. The hundreds of million, we are referring to 100 million up to 900 million. The billion, the ones of billion, that's 1 billion up to 9 billion. The tens of billion, 10 billion up to 90 billion. The hundreds of billion, 100 billion up to 900 billion. Yeah, the rest you can't do that. Tell you, give the group common names. Example, like what I said, the names, the given names are the others, thousand, million, and billion. Then you give the group common names. Examples, all those names that place under ones of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands are called thousands, okay? Are called thousand. The same thing, all those names or numbers that will be under the ones of million, tens of million, hundreds of billion, okay, are also called what? Million. All those names that will be ones of billion, tens of billion, hundreds of billion are called billion, okay? Good. Then all those names that are placed under ones of million, tens of million, and hundreds of million are also called million. Finally, underline the numbers of each group and read the numbers with their common name. Then put them in words. Let's solve one more example. Now, example. Write the following numerals in number names or words. So all these numbers, we are going to write names for that. When you take A, is 276362718349. When you take the B, is 70000034. The C, 3562461. The D, 50002. E, 444. And F, which is 75. Good. You're going to write names for these numbers here. So the first thing you have to do is that we write our solution here. Then let me write the solution. Let me write it here. Solution. Good. Now let me copy the numbers. Then you write your illustration. So the numbers, going to separate them. Good. You see the names, you start name them from the right side, okay? Which means that here be the ones, each of them possess three names. So here will be the ones, here, tens, hundred, okay? Another ones, tens, hundred. Another ones, no, hundred here. Another ones, tens, hundred. Another ones. Okay. Why my hundreds are not coming like that? Another ones here. the ones, tens, and then 100. Okay. And we said the first three names here belongs to what? To the others. So these three names here belongs to the others. The next three names here also belongs to the 1,000. And then the next three names here also belongs to the million. And then here will be the billion. Okay. So you have others because they don't have any common name. So we call them others. And here we call them 1,000. Call them 1,000. And this place too, we call them million. And here they are called billion. Good. Now we have their names here. Okay. So we are now going to write them. Now looking at the others, like what I said earlier on, we have the ones of others, tens of others, and hundreds of others. When you come to the 1,000, we have the ones of 1,000, tens of 1,000, and hundreds of 1,000. When you come to the million, we have the ones of million, tens of million, and hundreds of million. When you come to the billion, we have the ones of billion, tens of billion, and hundreds of billion. They all have the same common names here, which is the one, tens of what, and then the hundreds. Okay. Then we are going to write them in words. Then when you take each group, you underline the number of numbers in each group, and then you mention them together. So here we have these numbers in the billion, and when you come to the million, we have these numbers over there. When you come to the 1,000, we have these numbers, and then when you come to the others, we have these numbers here. So under the billion, we have 276. When you come to the million, we have the 362 million. When you come to the 1,000, we have the 718. Then when you come to the others, we have the 349. Good. Now let's put them in words here. But before then, let me write them. We have the 276 billion plus 362 million plus 718 1000 plus 349. Okay. So we have 200 and 76 billion. You have done with the billion. This is 276 billion. Then you move on to the million. The million, we have the 362 million. We have done with the million, then with the thousand. Now we have the 118,000. You are done with 1,000. The others, they don't have any common name, so you write 349. Good. Now we have 276 billion 362,718,349. That is for the first one. The second one, the B. Let me solve it on the next sheet here. Good. Now you have to indicate the names, ones, tens, and hundred. Okay. Ones, tens, and hundred. Ones, tens. And we said the first three names here belongs to the others. The next three names here belongs to the thousand, and the remaining here also belongs to the million. Okay, then you write the names. We have the others here. here is the thousand. And then here is also the million. Good. Now you underline the numbers under each group. When under the million, we have only two digits here, which is the 7 and 0. And under 1,000, we have the 3 zeros here. Under others, we have the 034 here. Now looking at this one, we have under the million, we have the 70 million, the 1,000, yeah, 00. So you don't have 0,000. And others, we have the 034. Any number that begin with 0 is the same as that number. So here the names is 70 million and 34. $70 million and 34. That is 70 million and 34. Let me put it here. Okay. Right. Good. Then back to the other questions here. We have this one here. Good. Now let's label. We have the ones, tens, 100. Ones, tens, 100. And then ones. So here belongs to others, 1,000, and then million. Okay, here is a million, here is 1,000, and others. So we have the 3 under the million, the 562 under the thousands, 461 under the others. So you write 3,562,461. Okay, so here will be 3,562 2,000 461. Good. Good. Now, let me solve the last one. Then you move on to the next one. Good. Let me indicate the names. We have the ones, tens, hundred, ones, tens. Okay. Then this one belongs to others. This one belongs to the thousand. So here is a thousand, and here is the others. Okay. Then you underline. You have the 50 under the thousand and the two. Okay, so 50,002. Then you have the 50,002. Good. See the other one. Good. Have the ones, tens, and hundred. Okay. This one belongs to others. This time we don't have thousand and million. So under the others, we have the 444. Okay, 444. So you write 444. Good. Now the last one. We have here is then you indicate the names, ones, tens. Still belongs to others. They don't have common name. So when you underline, you have 75. Okay. So you write the name 75. Okay. Good. Now this is how you write the names, number names for given numbers. You group them into others, thousand, million, and billion, and then you write the names of each groups here. We have the one, tens, and hundred for each. Then you underline and you put them in words. Now, let's quickly also learn how to write number names in words, in figures. So writing number names in figures or in numerals. One, you identify the group names such as the billions, millions, thousands, and others in the sentence. Then you underline each group and write its names, that is ones, tens, and hundred respectively. Record the numbers under each group names and add each group numbers obtained. Writing numbers names, okay? You write the number names in figures or numerals where they are being given you a number sentence, and then you translate them in figures or in numerals. Let's do one more example concerned about this one here. Example, write the numerals for each of the following number names. 1, 4,365,207,548. So here is comma, okay? 4,365,207,548. Then here's supposed to be the question 2. Here is 3. Here is 4. Okay, you are going to solve them one after the other. So the first one says what? 4 billion. So you write your solution. Okay, so let me copy the first question here. To move it to the next sheet here. Then you write your solution. The illustration. Now this is the question. Good. Now we are going to solve this one here. Now we have a name called billion. We have a name called billion. And then we have million here. And then we have thousand. And here there's no common name. So these peoples are others. Okay. Then let me have my billion. With the billion, we have the 100, tens, the 100, tens, and then the ones. Okay. Then when you have the billion, the million, to have the 100, the tens, the ones. Then the 1,000. For the 1,000 to, we have the names under the thousands, 100, tens, and ones. The others. Others to, we have the 100, tens, and ones. So we are going to use this one to record our numbers here. So under the billion, Under the billion, we have the 4, which is the 4 billion. 4 means ones of billion, so the 4 will be here. Okay, that is the 4 billion. Now we have the billion, and billion also possess 9 zeros. Billion possess 9 zeros. Now plus, then the million, starting from the back of the million here, we have the 65, which is the 5 and 60. So 5 belongs to the ones of million, and then 60, that's the tens of million, and then the 6 will be recorded here. And then 300 million, so which will be the 3 under the H, so the 300 million. 60, 6 times tens here will give you 60. 5 1 5. Good. Now let's come to the 1,000. The 1,000, the back of the 1,000, we have the 7, which belongs to the ones of 1,000, so here will be the 7. Okay, then the next back here, we have the 200, 207. So the 200, which means that the 2 will be recorded under the hundreds of the 1,000. Okay, the question didn't talk about the tens of thousands, so you put 0 to represent that. The question didn't talk about the tens, so you put 0 there. Then let's come to the others, starting from the back here, the 8, which is the others, and that is the 8. 40. So under the tens, and here will be the 4, and then 500, the others, here will be 5. Okay, the 1,000 also possess 3 zeros. The million also possess 6 zeros. Okay, now we have these numbers here. 4 billion. The billion possess 6 zero. So here will be 6. The billion, which is the 9. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That is the billion. Now when you come to the million also possess 6 zeros. Okay, now we have 3 6 5. Then the 6 0 come 1 2 3 1, the comma 1 2 3. Okay, good. And then the 1,000 also possess 3 zeros. For the 1,000 we have the 2 0 7, then the 3 zeros here. Okay, then the others possess no 0. So we have the 5 4 8. Okay, good. Then you add them. Which will be 4 3 5. Let me add them manual so that you understand it well. Now we have the 8 here, 4 here, 5 7 0, 2, 6, 5, 3, and then 4. Okay, good. So this is how to write them in figures. Okay, but initially you have to state them. The 4 billion, which is 4 billion plus then 365 million. The million also possess 6 zeros. Okay, plus then 207. The 1,000 possess 3 zeros plus others, they don't have any zeros. So here will be 548. Okay. Then you add them starting from the back, and then you add them. The billion possess 9 zeros, million 6 zeros, 1,000 3 zeros, others no zero. So when you add them, that is exactly what we get here. 435. Then we write the answers here, and that will be the 435. 435 620 7548. 435 620 7548. Okay, that is that. So here 3, 3, and then 3 here. That will be our final answer. Okay, good. Let's solve the other one, the other example. We have the 13 million 203. Now, for this one, you have to identify the group names here. We have the million, and then we didn't talk about the thousands here, which means that the remaining here are others. Okay, good. So we have only millions and others. So now we have to write your solution. Then illustration. Okay. Good. Now, which means that we have only the million and others. So the million, the names of the million is have the 100, tens, and ones. Then the others to the names of others also are hundred, tens, and ones. Okay, good. Now we are going to record them here. When you take the million, the back of the million, we call it 13. So the 13, we have the 1 and 3, that is the 13. The position of the 3 here is the ones, and the position of the 1 here is the tens. So under the million, we have the 3 being under the ones, and the 1 also be under, that is the 13 million here. Okay, plus then others, we have 3, the back here. We have the 3 here, and 200, and the 200. Therefore, the 2 will be under the 100. The question didn't talk about the tens of others. So you put 0 to represent that. Remember, we said the million possess 6 zeros. So when you put them here, you get 13 million, which is the 6 zeros, plus the others, which is the 203. 203. Others possess no 0. So when you're adding, make sure that you start from the back. So the 13 and the 6 zeros plus, then you start recording from the back. Okay, so here that will be 203. Okay, good. Because always you start recording from the back and then you add them. When you add them, no, good. So here is 3, here is 0, here is 2, comma, then the 3 zeros, and then the 3 and 1. Okay, that is 30,203,000. Okay, let me put them here. So the answer is, therefore, is 13,203,000. Okay, let me bold it well. Okay, that is the final answer. Are you okay? Good. So always identify the group names, and then you write the names of the group to record the numbers. Okay, good. Then let me come back, and now we have the 8,009. The 8,009. So which means that we have only the 1,000, then here belongs the others. Okay, so you write the 1,000, the names will be 100, tens, and ones, and then you move on to others. Others to the names of others, 100, tens, and ones. Okay, good. Now with 1,000, Let's record. This is 8,000. So it will fall under the ones. So here will be the 8. Okay. That is the 8,000. That is the symbol for 1,000. Plus and 9. 9 also fall under the ones of others here. They didn't talk about the 100. Here they didn't talk about that. Here the question they didn't talk about the hundreds of thousands. They didn't talk about the tens of thousands. Now we have our 8,000. The 1,000 possess 3 zeros plus 009 is the same as 9. Okay. Then you put them together. Then you add them. You write your 8,000 plus 9. Okay. Then here will be 9, 0, 0, and then 8. Okay. That's 8,009. Okay. Good. You can watch it again and then solve the remaining question. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.